And the latest on what the on-ground reality is as far as Dhaka is concerned, we're joined by senior journalist Salahuddin Shoaib Chaudhry, joining us from Dhaka. Also with us on this panel is Aneek R. Haq, a barrister from Bangladesh, also with us on the program. Mr. Haq was one of the lawyers representing petitioners seeking an order for the police to refrain from firing on protesters. Mr. Chaudhry, Mr. Haq, thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Chaudhry, let me come to you. We've seen different emotions which mark different stage of these protests that we've seen over the last 1 month. There was first initially a sense of frustration, then a sense of extreme anger. Since yesterday, we've seen a sense of euphoria taking over the protesters, taking over the students, taking over the country. The fear that many are expressing is that this could next translate into a sense of majoritarianism, a sense of extremism, also resulting in perhaps attacks on minorities, which are already being reported, not being verified, but reported so far. What are you picking up from what's on the ground? What is the mood at this point, 24 hours after Sheikh Hasina has resigned?
Thank you very much. Actually, since the Sheikh Hasina resigned yesterday and she fled the country or left the country, so there is in the name of celebration, there is vandalism in the official residence of the Prime Minister and also in the Parliament House and many other places. And until now, we are getting report of attacks on Hindus, Hindu properties, Hindu homes, Hindu temples. So when this kind of the acts are continuing, just now we have received an information that Bangladesh police has set forward 9-point demand, and until their demands will be met, they will go for a strike. This is a condition. On the other hand, the leaders, the conveners of the anti-dress discrimination student movement, they are coming up with their own proposal for an interim government with Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus as the head of their proposed interim government. And they are also saying, very interestingly, they say that the tenure of this interim government should be 3 to 6 years, because they are not only demanding holding of an election, they are demanding a reform in various places in the country or in the state system. So this is something happening in one hand. On the other hand, Khaleda Zia has been released from the prison, and the president has resolved, as he was saying, the parliament. So BNP is now demanding holding of the election within the next 3 months. And they are also demanding formation of the interim government immediately. So this is a very kind of the confrontational situation. And if you are getting information from Bangladesh media, Tariq Rahman, BNP's acting chairman from London, he is giving statements, and they are trying to give an impression that BNP is a ruling party. So, I mean, it's a kind of the chaotic situation, very chaotic in Bangladesh.
Chaotic situation. Let me take that across to Mr. Haq. Mr. Haq, similar question to you, that the apprehension coming from various quarters is that the degree of anger that we had seen against Sheikh Hasina will now translate into that public momentum and public opinion consolidating in the hands of people on the extreme end, or the other extreme end, which in this case would happen to be Islamists, extremists, fundamentalists. That is the apprehension. Is that a valid fear? Is that the momentum that you're also seeing in Dhaka and other parts of the country?
No, sir. I humbly disagree on this point. We have seen some sort of vandalism in the ruling parties. That was the Sheikh Hasina's home, and very deplorably where our Bangabandhu used to stay. That was a museum and all these, and in the parliament. But at the same time, when this was done, after that, today we have seen that the things that has been snatched away from there are slowly being returned. And today the students actually started cleaning the parliament and restoring them. The students themselves started this. At the same time, there has been some stray incidents which we've been hearing or seeing in the Facebook, that some sort of like goons have been trying to attack the homes of Hindus and temples. But right then, in the evening, when these things started breaking out, people started revolting against that. And I have seen myself that students of all the madrasas and the students, they have surrounded the temples to save their Hindu brothers. And I have actually been talking, and we have been all night. I myself have been standing near a temple where I have seen that all walks of people from the backgrounds of Muslim or Hindu, they have been there trying to stop the vandalisms
Sure.
over there. So I believe that, yes, there has been some incidents, but at the same time, people are coming into their senses and stopping these and protecting our minority.
Sure. Let me then ask you a follow-up question. Sure. Let me then ask you a follow-up question with respect to the road ahead. We are looking at an interim government. We're yet to have a final confirmation from Mohammed Yunus whether or not he's agreed to lead that formation or whether he's agreed to assist in the form of a chief advisor. We're still awaiting a final word on that. I just want to get a word in, Mr. Haq, from you on the role of the army. The historical lessons that the subcontinent teaches us is that any time the army takes a role which is front and center, it doesn't usually end well, and that's the apprehension, that's the fear here as well. Are we being too trusting in terms of placing all the trust? Is the country being too trusting of the army, trusting the benevolence and the graciousness of the military leaders at this point?
You see, the situation in Bangladesh was such that even we have welcomed the army, anyone but Sheikh Hasina. That was sort of like the mentality over here. And now actually from what I'm getting from the students' movements and they have taken help of the army to depose her, but they do not want army to be in power. That is exactly why probably what we are getting, that the advisory body that is being prepared, that there is no influence of army. They're trying to make sure of that, and people also want that because the experience in this subcontinent when the army comes to power is not really good, and people have taken a lesson from that, and they are not at all willing to be under the army rule. So yes, army has been sort of like dependent upon, but they are not dependent upon for ruling the country, running the country. That would be left with, not with the politicians at this moment, rather from the civil society who has experience in all these.
Right. Mr. Chaudhary, coming to you now again, just to get some facts from you. You're there on the ground. Will you be able to assist us in terms of what the situation looks ahead for the composition of this interim government? A lot of speculation, a lot of questions. We were hearing names of Dr. Salimullah Khan last evening. This morning, that name has turned into Mohammed Yunus. We are yet to get a final word from him. What does the composition of this interim framework look like? Or what will be the mandate of this interim government? When are we likely to see elections?
You see, just a few hours ago, Mr. Sarjiz Alam, one of the key conveners of the student protest, he in a Facebook post said that Islam will be the ruling law of Bangladesh and Quran will be the constitution of the country. And when I just picked up his Facebook post and tweeted on my Twitter account, and it was already reported in some media, and he quickly removed that post. But whether he quickly removed that post or what, but it shows their intention of turning Bangladesh into a neo-Taliban state. And their tendency is like that. And as we just heard that Parliament is being cleaned. No, Bangladesh Parliament has been devastated, completely ransacked. It is not cleaning is not enough. It is ransacked. It will need a lot of money to rebuild or refurbish the whole thing. So Parliament is ruined. And when Parliament is ruined, democracy is at risk. And I don't see any possibility of any democratic atmosphere in this country, even in the distant future now.
Interesting thoughts, those. A lot of question marks being raised here, a lot of chaos there as far as Dhaka is concerned. Dramatic visuals coming out of Bangladesh at this moment. We'll, of course, continue to get you the latest from the developments from India's neighborhood. Mr. Haq, Mr. Chaudhary, appreciate you joining us with your time and perspective. With that, we're heading into a very short break. But coming up, Sensex and Nifty end in the red for the third straight day after failing to hold on to intraday gains. More on that when we come back.